Okay, very good day to everyone. This is Getting to Know Maya. I'm Alan, and this will be my first video recording to show you the basic in Maya. After you install the education version, by right, you'll be greeted by this layout of Autodesk Maya. And previously under basic, I did pinpoint some of the important items over here, like the main menu, the shelf, toolbars, and channel box. As time goes by, I will show each one of these functions one by one slowly. Okay. All right. So the first matter in business would be how to navigate in Maya. All right, in Maya itself. So I have a 3D model right in the center of what they call a grid. Okay, this is called the Maya grid. And to your left, to your bottom left, notice this X, Y, and Z. This is actually the axis indicator. In 3D knowledge itself, right? All 3D models is actually positioned in these three axes. Alright, the X, Y, and Z axis. Okay, now what I'm doing right now over here. This is the first navigation function that I'm going to talk right now. This is actually called the tumble. Tumble is basically rotating around your model. I'm not rotating the item, I'm rotating the camera around my 3D object. So how do I tumble? Hold down alternate, left mouse, and drag. Just hold down these two buttons and you're able to tumble in Maya. Okay, this is the first one. Second would be called tracking. Rather than rotating, this is actually moving your camera or track right or left, up or down. Hold down your alternate, middle mouse, and your mouse cursor will turn into the track icon, and there you go. Okay, the next function would be, this is actually the same. I mean, dolly and zoom, they are actually essentially the same. Alright, how do I zoom? Middle mouse to scroll, you can scroll up or down, okay, to zoom in or out. Alright, middle mouse, scrolling in and out. Alternatively, you can hold down your alternate button and right mouse to zoom in and out. Okay, hold these two buttons, alternate and right mouse button. Okay, so these three features, these three navigation functions is actually quite important, where you need to evaluate your 3D model in all angles, or maybe from a far distance or close up. Alright, and to your right here, this is actually called the view cube with indications. If I press front, your camera will go to the front. If this side button will focus the camera onto the right, back, the top. This house button, the home button, goes back to the perspective view. Whenever you start up Maya, whenever you start with a new scene, you'll be greeted by the perspective view in Maya. Alright. Okay, next one would be the toolbox itself. I'm not going to talk about this select tool, lasso, paint selection, universal, soft modifications, show manipulator tool. No, I'm going to talk about something which is very, very basic first, which would be the move tool, rotate, and scale. Alright, if you select the item, alright, whenever you select an item over here, it will highlight as green. I'll explain this later in the next chapter. But what I want you all to do right now is to actually select the move tool. Move tool actually, well, it's there already, the word, where you're able to move your objects accordingly. Notice red, green, and blue in accordance to the axis indicator at the bottom right. Okay, no matter where I turn my camera around, these two items will follow with each other. Okay, alright, so basically the red one is you're able to move your item in the x-axis, left or right. Hold down your mouse over that arrow, move it left or right. If you want to move it up and down, you should select the green one, the axis, the Y axis to move up or down, front or back, well, the Z, front and back. And to your right, under channel box, we're able to see the position of the object itself. Okay, if I set everything to 0, it will land on its point of origin in the center of the grid. But let's say if I want to move it 10 steps to the right, so it's positive 10. If I want to go to the left, negative 10. Alright, so this area will be the negative side of X, this will be the positive area of X. Put back to 0, and there you go. Same goes for the Y. Up means positive, below the grid means negative. And for the Z itself, front, back, negative. Okay, these three. Alright, so the next one would be the rotation. Okay, rotation itself, all these arrows are, all these circles are all the rotation manipulator. Or they actually rotate around the axis. Notice where this green circle is, and look at this indication over here, the Y. Imagine that the circle is surrounding around the Y axis. That means if I select and drag the green circle, it is rotating around the Y axis. Okay, and also let's say X axis and Z axis. Alright, and as usual, to your right, the channel box over here, we can actually insert our own numerical numbers accordingly. I want this item to be 90 degrees in the x-axis, or 0, or y-axis, let's say 45 degrees, and so on. Okay, so for these first two tools, move and rotate. Alright, move and rotate. In the center, you can see this yellow box. Alright, hold down, you can move it all over the place, and to your right you can see all the numbers are like jumbled up all together. Okay, I wouldn't recommend this. I wouldn't recommend this for both move and the rotation, okay, where you can move it all over the place. I wouldn't recommend that. If you want your items to be at the precise position, might as well I just move my translation X and Z. Alright, for scale, alright, for scale, scaling is actually resizing your item or 3D mesh. Okay, I can scale the x-axis, y, and z. Unlike the first two items here where all the numbers jumbled up, for scale is a little bit different, where I can scale an item in a 1-to-1 ratio, as you can see over here. Okay, to a 1-to-1 ratio. So let me set all this one too. So as usual, you can input your own, your own numerical number to set the size of your item accordingly. Okay, alright, so we are done with these three. Alright, I forgot to mention, rather than mouse clicking every single one of these buttons, right, there's a hotkey to select the move tool, rotate tool, and the scale tool. To move is W, to rotate is E, to scale is R. W, E, R. Okay, simple as that. Just remember that W is move, E is for rotate, R is for scale. Okay, now let's have a look at the 4 viewports in Maya. To your left, if you see this panel called the 4 view, this button called the 4 view, you click, it will invoke the 4 panels in Maya itself. We have the perspective view, top view, front view, and side view. Okay, rather than clicking on the button here, alternatively you can hit the space bar. Alright, space bar. Okay, space bar. If I want to see the top view, mouse over the top view panel, space bar. Alright, if I want to see the front view, mouse over the front view panel, space bar, and so on and so on. Alright, having this 4 view is very important when it comes to planning. let's say if I have a bunch of furniture that I want to arrange accordingly, the appropriate view that I want to see will be the top view, okay, where I want to have the chair over here, I want to have the table over here, and so on. All right. And sometimes side or front view can be useful where I want my items to be above the floor. Okay, this is very, very important when it comes to planning. I mean, when you want to position your items accordingly at different area and different location. All right, just hit spacebar and so on. Okay. All right, so I'm basically done with navigating in Maya. If you have any concern, you can drop me a message in the inquiries section. I do hope you're able to learn something simple from here. For the next chapter would be on polygon primitives, where I'll be talking about creating polygon primitives. They are basically the building blocks in building a 3D model. Hope you have fun, and thank you, and see you again.